Welcome to the Sea of Thieves 2024
Whoop, whoop.
preview event, where we're going to give you your first look at some of the exciting features coming to Sea of Thieves this year.
What?
We are going to share information around what's coming in seasons
Oh,
12 and 13, as well as even further into the
What is that?
with a sneak peek
That Reaper's
behind the
hideout?
curtain on season 14.
Was that Reaper's hideout?
So grab a grog and get ready
What?
for adventure as we reveal some of the incredible bounty of features headed to Sea of Thieves in 2024.
Oh my gosh.
Sea of Thieves is a pirate sandbox adventure game where players create those stories together. And in the world of Sea of Thieves, there are tools and items that may seem simple on the surface, but when they're in the hands of real players who are playing in their own way,
like me,
and with their creativity, it really showcases that the sandbox is more than the sum of its parts, as it creates these memorable stories.
This year, in 2024, our focus is on giving you more tools, more possibilities, and with that freedom out on the waves, give you the possibilities to have these amazing moments and really changing up the core moment-to-moment gameplay of the sandbox.
Okay.
The kind of main aims for Season 12 are about mixing up the meta and how players enjoy all of the different aspects of Sea of Thieves. So as part of Season 12, we're going to be adding 2 new weapons and 3 new tools for players to use.
An area we haven't really delved into since launch is adding new weapons to the game.
New weapons?
Weapons that give you new tactical choices and strategies out there on your adventures. So in Season 12, we're going to be adding the double barrel pistol and throwing knives.
The
Oh my
double
gosh!
flintlock is a new type of pistol weapon where you can fire 2 shots individually before you need to reload, or you can charge them together and release them at once for a more
charge
powerful
shot?
We wanted to kind of create
That's
this
clean.
new weapon
That looks
archetype
so
that's
good.
a bit shorter
Oh my
range,
gosh.
but a faster fire rate, but perhaps not as powerful or damaging as the flintlock pistol.
Boom.
But then it has
That's
those
cool.
kind of blunderbuss-like qualities
Well,
as well.
I know what I'm
going
gonna
to
be maining.
To release 2 pellets at the same time.
Accompanying that double barrel flintlock with another weapon like the cutlass, for example, for a finishing blow can lead to a fast
That
time
is
kill for a player to
so
be able to
good
quickly
looking.
take
Oh
down
my
a target.
gosh.
Season 12 also brings in the throwing knives as a weapon. Now these can be used as a melee item. They have a light and a heavy melee action, but they can also be thrown
Oh,
and
that's
used at
fun.
range as well.
You can use it to kind of like stab players with like a quick attack, but that doesn't do much damage. Or you can charge it to like pull it into this kind of more dangerous stabbing
That's
motion,
my kind of.
that'll slow the player's movement.
I've got my 2 new weapons, guys. I don't know what to say.
If you like sneak up behind players, and then finally
They made this
it has
update
the
just for
ability
me.
to kind of flip
Oh
the
my
knife over,
gosh.
catch it, and then throw it at distance against players, which again kind of feels like a trick shot,
That
and
looks
it'll
so
deal damage as well.
good.
When you throw a throwing knife,
Why did that look so good?
You can actually go in the world and it'll stick into any of the geometry, and you can just pull it out, and then it'll replenish your ammo. So I think personally, for me, this is really good because sometimes I miss, as I'm sure some of us do.
Whoa!
So you can then just go ahead and pick it up again.
So you get these wonderful moments where
That looks
a
so
pirate will throw
good.
a knife at you, but then you can retrieve that knife and throw it back to them.
That is awesome.
So it'll really
That
mix
is-
up the kind
oh
of
my gosh.
combat scenarios you can expect
That
out
is
in the
awesome.
world and when boarding other ships.
There are 3 new tools in
Oh.
Season 12, the Wind
Those look
Caller,
different.
the Scatter Shot, and the Bone Caller.
With the scatter shot, the way that it's different to a standard cannonball is it's a collection of 4 cannonballs, but they're much smaller. They have a much shorter fall-off range and a really wide spread, allowing you to hit a target with multiple projectiles at the same time.
And it does really small amounts of damage to the ship, just like a level 1 size hole. So like really quick for players to repair, but it can kind of overwhelm a crew quite quickly.
Basically, if you get up close with the scatter shot and you can get a few onto your enemy, they're going to have a lot of holes and they're going to have a pretty bad time.
What it will do is really eat up an opponent's resources. They'd need to
That's
use
good for
more
someone like
wood
me,
to
I'm not gonna
repair
lie.
the many holes that the scatter shot puts into the hull.
So the Bone Caller is an awesome new throwable that players can wield, and they can throw that on the floor, and when it smashes, all these kind of bones come out, and then skeletons spawn around the player in allegiance.
That's gonna
to
be
them,
annoying.
and they'll
Though.
actually
Oh
fight
wait!
beside the player against enemy players and enemy AI.
Now you might not
That's
be going
cool.
straight for just a normal cannonball or a chain shot. You might
Those
in
are gotta
fact
be
go
rare,
straight
like,
for the bone
how are you
caller,
gonna-
so you can have some skellies that are on your side on that ship, sort of messing things up for that crew.
You could
Oh
use
my
fire
gosh.
to fight fire. So if somebody shoots a bone caller across the sea at your ship and they spawn in, if you have your own bone caller, you could throw that down on the deck and have your own skellies go and fight those to take
That's
them out for you. So that you
fun.
don't have to.
I mostly
That's
play
really
solo, and
fun.
to be able to spawn literally anything that is friendly to my cause while I'm playing is a massive positive. So I'm kind of looking forward to that, and I'm sure that other players will find ways to make use of it
I
as
really
well.
like that.
The Wind Caller is a new horn-shaped shell that players can blow into to summon the power of the wind. So imagine the scenario that you're heading
Wait.
fully into the wind and you're either chasing someone
that-
or
does
you're
that make you
trying to get
faster
away
than-
from someone. Now you can use this tool
cool.
to blow wind into your sails and go even beyond full billow in speed.
That is
Players can also
amazing. I
use
wish I
to
could
kind of
use that
knock
to like
players back
swim.
off their ship or on
Like-
land, so they can kind of
Like,
target
but
a player, blow
I'm-
into the
okay,
wind
that's-
collar, and it will throw
That's
them
just a
back into the air.
glorified.
You can use it as a
bloody
means
ball,
of
but
propulsion
swimming,
for
swimming.
yourself in the water.
Yes!
Rowing boats.
Yes!
So you can use it
That's
while
gonna be
you're in
me.
the water swimming and blast along like a really fast water boatman. Or
my
you can stand
gosh.
on a rowing boat and blast it out of the
That
back
is-
like
oh.
a speedboat, basically.
You can put out fires and you can do it quickly. So you can just essentially walk around. Your entire ship is caught on fire.
That's
and
cool.
Just put out all the fires as you walk around.
And they can even use it to like stop their fall damage. Like say you're falling a great distance and you use the wind caller below you, like cushion
What?
the fall, so you like land safely as well. There is like a finite charge for how long the wind caller can last for, so you have to use it wisely.
Oh, I get it. Okay, zip lines.
So Season 12 also introduces zip lines onto several of the islands around Sea of Thieves. So you may have seen these as they debuted in the Monkey
was
Island
kinda wondering when we
hotels,
were gonna get
and
those.
they're a really fun and exhilarating way to traverse. So it's really cool to be able to bring those to the wider Sea of Thieves world.
So we've
That's
been
fun.
looking across all the islands of the Sea of Thieves and looking at the most ideal places to kind of mix up the traversal opportunities within all of the islands to add these zip lines across them. So we've added zip lines to like the outpost.
I don't know if I
to
love
get
the look of
down
it,
to
but
your ship
maybe I'll
quickly.
get
We've
maybe
added
I'll get
them
more
to
used
the
to it.
skeleton forts that allow you to kind of zip line between
Okay, I
two
can't lie, I
positions to
kinda
kind
like
of
that.
escape the skeletons or get close to
That's
them when
kinda
they
cool.
first spawn, or just general kind of zip lines across.
I hope
the
it's a little
island, like
smoother
fast
than it was at
traversal,
Monkey
moving
Island, though. I
chests
didn't love
around
how it
islands
always
quickly.
looked.
For example, on Ancient Spire Outpost now, you've got to clunk down some cliffs in order to get to your ship. Now you'll be able to just go and get on the zip line and go flying
That
all the way
I
down to the
hate that
jetty next
outpost
to
so
your ship.
much. Oh, that is
So
amazing.
alongside adding completely brand new tools to the Sea of Thieves sandbox, there's also the opportunity for us to go back and
Okay.
add completely brand new functionality to existing tools.
So another cool
Oh.
new feature that we're adding for Season 12 is the ability to balance on harpoon lines. So you can
Yes.
harpoon line
Oh my
at
gosh.
another ship or
Yes.
an island and then jump onto it and then like balance across. Depending on the angle in which you fire the harpoon, it'll either be like
That is
too
so
steep to
cool.
climb up it, but if you're on the other end, you can actually jump on the harpoon line and like slide down it
What?
really quickly back to your ship.
We're really confident this will lead to some really inventive player boarding tactics out there
That
in the
is so
sandbox, as well
fun.
as giving you new ways to traverse
Hold
the islands.
on.
With all this that we're adding in Season 12, it gives players
That's so
more opportunities to
fun.
create those stories as we're really enriching the sandbox of every
Oh my
session.
gosh.
So we're always really excited
This is
to
so
add new
cool.
tools and mechanics to Sea of Thieves, but we're always mindful that we want to make sure that the game's health is in a really good position as well, that the integrity of Sea of Thieves is there for our players. And since
Anti-cheat.
we're adding new weapons into Sea of
Anti-cheat.
Thieves, we're very mindful
Anti-cheat.
that we want to ensure
Anti-cheat.
that the hit registration in our game is as rock solid as it can be. And this is an ongoing thing for us as a development team. We're constantly putting time and effort into this area to try and make it as robust as possible.
Anti-cheat?
In the past, we've borrowed time from feature teams to address issues in the core experience, but it's always taken a back seat to the features that those teams are working on. In 2024, this is changing. We're securing a dedicated team to focus on the health of the game, bringing fixes and
Aw.
improvements to the things that matter most
Let's
to our
go!
players as soon as they're ready as part of our regular monthly updates. This is going to be a key focus for the team this year. We want your Sea of Thieves experience to be the best that it can be. Adding new loadout choices as part of upcoming seasons shows our commitment to making encounters between players a more dynamic and fun experience. But crucially, this all has to operate on a stable combat system. We know that there's still plenty of work to do here, but this remains a top priority for our team. March's update delivered easy anti-cheat, an industry-leading anti-cheat solution designed by Epic. This solution evolves over time, keeping up with cheat developers, blocking them at every turn. This is really, though, just the first step at improving the player experience here in Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
We want to focus this year on making Sea of Thieves play better than ever before, whether that be improving the performance of the game across the variety of hardware it runs on, ensuring that it's a safe place to play with a focus on cheating, but also ensuring that our hit registration is as reliable as possible in all of your adventures out there in the sandbox.
Oh, we gonna get some story stuff here?
Captain Flameheart has been a staple,
yes,
important character of Sea of Thieves.
This is what I want.
Appearing in our novels and appearing in our many tall tales and expanded fiction. With season 13, this brings the return of Captain Flameheart.
Yes. Oh, yes!
Flameheart has been resurrected,
Hail
so has his
Flameheart.
Burning Blade ship, and it's back in more monstrous and terrifying form than ever before. So we've reimagined it for season 13, and it looks incredible.
It looks
almost
so
looks
good.
like a living entity itself.
So traditionally, world events have been
my
at set
gosh.
locations throughout the world. The Burning Blade is a little different. The Burning Blade is a ship, and therefore moves around the world.
But the twist is, when you've defeated the ship, you have the option to board it and pledge yourself and your crew to Flameheart, enter into his service, and become the crew of the Burning Blade.
Become the crew of the Burning Blade?
A player-created world
What? Oh my gosh.
So obviously we have to go in big with this one. At a base, it's larger and more formidable than any ship we've seen on the waves.
Oh my gosh.
This ship has 10 cannons. It has a statue room dedicated
That
to
is
Flameheart at the back.
crazy.
It has a balcony where Flameheart likes to take in the view every
Oh
morning
my-
with his coffee. And most
What?
importantly, it's got a massive flamethrower at the front.
Players will be able to leave on their ship and fire 2 massive balls of fire out the front of their ship.
Oh
which
my
is
gosh.
really interesting because we've never actually had an offensive weapon that's frontal facing before. So I think this is going to create
crazy.
some really interesting dynamic
What?
combat situations.
No way.
Once you take over the Burning Blade, you are on this really powerful warship.
Oh
and
my
you have
gosh.
a skeleton crew helping you as well. So even smaller crews
Get our own skeleton
have every
crew.
chance of crewing the
Oh,
Burning Blade
this is
because
so
the skeletons
cool.
will come to your aid.
So you could have skeletons repairing while you're
I'm
on the
loving
cannons
this.
firing at enemies.
It's not exactly the story, but I mean, like,
It's not
they're
just
using
about
Flameheart,
sailing
and
around
that's
the world, which of course
that's
you
so
can do.
exciting.
It's about completing orders in service of Captain
Completing
Flameheart.
orders.
So around the world, there'll be numerous skeleton camps.
You'll notice the Reapers have been conducting
Skeleton
excavations
camps.
on the surface, and they've been dragging up all sorts of ancient artifacts and ancient secrets from below the surface.
Underground, there's
What?
basically a chamber with a prism that the players can control.
Oh
that
my-
draws constellations on the ceiling
The
in order to
world-
help the ritual come to completion and get that knowledge of the ancients.
Each of these temples contains the secrets
Oh my
of the
gosh.
ancients, secrets that Flameheart wants above anything else. And as part of taking control of this
I'll
ship,
get them. I will
you'll
get
be able
all
to
of them.
Sail around
This-
the world, visit these ancient temples deep below these skeleton camps.
Rare,
engage
you've
in
done
new
it.
puzzle
You've done it. You
gameplay,
want me
discover
back.
treasures.
I'm
But
here.
what you're really after is the Orb of Secrets,
The
a
Orb
new
of
treasure
Secrets.
artifact that Flameheart wants. Collecting
wants the
these
orb.
secrets will add tribute to the Burning Blade ship.
What secrets?
The more tribute that you collect, the more value will be aboard the Burning Blade. But you will lose the Burning Blade if it sinks or when
I
you
get
choose
it.
to go and cash that tribute in to Flameheart. So it's really up to you
Okay.
how long you think you can hold on to it with that risk reward, because everybody in the
interesting.
world is going to be coming for you. They're going to know you're in there and know you've got high value. So it really becomes this dynamic player-created world event with players versus players in the sandbox.
So even though you
Okay.
can visit these skeleton
Okay.
camps while in control of the Burning Blade, it's not only tightly
I
wedded to that
dig
new gameplay.
this.
Players can also visit them
It's
anytime.
like
on
Flying
their
Dutchman
adventures.
times
So should
10.
players visit these skeleton camps when they're not the crew of the Burning Blade, the skeletons won't be too happy that you found a way
Yep,
inside these
I assume
camps,
so.
and you'll be engaging in a combat-focused encounter to discover its
whoa.
secrets.
What's really exciting about Season 13 is the interplay of the features and the way that they'll bring players together and combine to create new stories. And
how are you even going to fight that thing?
Who wants to protect it, or everyone else who wants to take it down.
It's got 10 cannons.
Everything in Season 13 will bring you
That's
together.
unreal. Oh, Season 14. Okay. Okay.
So towards the end of the
year,
we have Season 14, and while it's very early for us to talk about, we wanted to share some of our thinking here because it is totally aligned with this vision for what 2024 can be. This laser focus on the sandbox and mechanics that add to the variety of stories you can encounter in Sea of Thieves.
Internally, we're referring to Season 14 as Pirates of Mischief. Sea of Thieves has always had this playful, mischievous, and funny sense of humour. And with Season 14, we're expanding on that. The two main areas that we're exploring are new ways to stealth and new ways to cause mischief in the world.
So I think a real aspect of the Sea of Thieves experience that we haven't dived
stealth with the throwing knives will go crazy.
The idea of being a stealthy pirate.
So when you think about stealth in Sea of Thieves and enhancing that, imagine being able to crouch and move around the world silently, or the ability to hang off the side of an enemy's ship.
When we were having these initial conversations about Season 14, the first thing I thought of was the cardboard boxes in Metal Gear Solid. Could we allow players to climb into chests, and if they choose, they can actually scuttle around with their little legs out the bottom? And also, if they choose to, you know, keep the ruse up, could other players come along and pick them up like a normal loot chest or treasure chest or whatever, and take it onto their ship?
So another cool thing that we've been working on is the blow dart, which is another new
blow dart
from the armory, and use that to sneak aboard.
We're going Assassin's Creed on this thing.
These custom darts into players that will do different effects.
So imagine a blow dart that tracks whatever it sticks to, whether that's a ship, a chest, an item, a player.
Ones that could potentially
tracking dart
skeletons to like a specific position, so you can throw a firebomb in there, or explode a gunpowder keg, or
a tracking dart would be so broken.
Specific sound effects.
Any chest you have, you just track it. Like
an enemy ship,
chest of fortune,
the capstone, and it sounds like
tracking,
or shoot the ladders and it sounds like someone's climbing up them.
And then thinking about some of the ways that we want to add more mischief to the world, one of these is the idea of traps.
So much like the kind of blunderbombs and firebombs, we've been thinking about them being this kind of throwable traps that players can kind of throw into the world. Think of it like a spring trap that players can place on the islands to trap skeletons on a bounty or on a fort. They could place it at the top of their ladders to prevent players from boarding their ships and get caught in this trap.
Along with these, we're also bringing a really exciting new tool, and it's the grapple gun, which is a dual-purpose rifle. So it allows you to traverse the environment much quicker, because you're able to grapple yourself up to a ledge, for example. But you can also harpoon items and...
Oh my goodness.
Some of the new cool uses we've seen from the grapple gun in our early
That's broken.
Players firing themselves out of the cannon towards another ship to try and board them, and perhaps overcooking it and then using the grapple gun to at the deck and propel them down onto it, or
instant deck shot
to like an oncoming ship, and then
use
the grapple gun to kind of grapple up and onto their ship so that they can board them and drop their anchor or have a fight with them.
To make sure that the grapple gun is balanced, it does have ammunition. You'll have arrowheads. And these essentially break off when you successfully use the grapple gun, meaning you can't continuously keep grappling. There is a skill to using the gun successfully and accurately and efficiently.
So when we think about 2024, we really think about getting to the very heart of what makes Sea of Thieves great. That is your story, powered by that design philosophy of tools, not rules. Season 12, 13,
I love
and 14
this.
Are fully exploring that, giving you new options, new tools, and new possibilities that make this game unique.
It's gonna be a good year.
I think when you look at the year ahead for Sea of Thieves, our plans for Season 12, Season 13, and Season 14.
I'm happy with this.
It's kind of making this shift away from these
this is
big
really cool,
systemic changes to Sea of Thieves and returning back to the core of what makes
happy
Sea
with
of Thieves so special, the heart of Sea of Thieves, about giving players new tools to create new stories out there in the world.
We're ultimately shaking up the meta, giving players new tools to learn and master. And I can't wait to see what combinations players start settling on. before we shake it back up again.
While everything that you're seeing today is still work in progress and possibly subject to change in some ways, we will be giving more insights onto how these things are developing as we come closer to launch.
Makes sense.
With the richness of all these new seasons, and of course PlayStation Pirates joining us as well, it is such an exciting year for Sea of Thieves in 2024.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you for joining us for the Sea of Thieves.
This is crazy.
Preview event.
I don't even like.
We hope you've enjoyed this.
Rare, you've
coming throughout the rest of the
you've
year.
done it.
There's
like
still a lot more
you want me back. I don't.
Seasons, so keep an eye on the horizon as well
This
as
is
more
crazy.
to share closer
You-
to each season's launch. For
Great
more
job.
information and to keep
Great
up to date
job.
with what's new in Sea of Thieves,
I'm just
check
blown
out our
away.
social
I'm gonna make a
channels. So
video
until our
about this
paths
later,
cross
but
again,
right now I just.
happy sailing, and we'll see you on the
Wow.
seas.
Great job, Rare. You definitely did something amazing here. Whew. Oh wait, is there something else? Ow! Yeah! Oh!